West Coasters, welcome back to East Coast DNA. Today with us we have Chase Clarke.
Hey Chase, how's it going?
Pretty good. How you guys doing on this fine, wet evening?
I am soaked. I went to get groceries and
Yeah,
my clothes are still wet. Like I running from the car to the house. So
it was brutal.
yeah.
I chose this as the stay in and get caught up on stuff day. I'll check the forecast out. So
Yeah.
need to rest up for the ECMAs.
Did it rain
Oh,
hard
yeah.
there though, or was it just windy there? Darcy?
I didn't even look out the window here.
Oh no, you would have heard it. If it was
Superpower.
rain like it did here, you would have heard it.
I heard the
Sobeys
wind.
and Superstore, I had to go to both. And they both have buckets all over the store because they're both leaking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So at least the competition's flooding too. It's not just
Yeah,
one or the
exactly.
other.
It's,
Yeah.
it's spread all around. So yeah, Chase just had his first solo single release, but Chase was introduced to me through a mutual friend not too long ago. It was the calendar year. And at the time, Chase, you were fronting the Flakes. You were the singer for the night.
Yes.
So I do want to get into a little bit of your history, but I'm curious since I knew of you through the Flakes and I was
Mhm.
aware of the Flakes because they had a song that was making good rotation in the East Coast there last year too.
Mhm.
How long were you with them? Because I do see that they've had more than just you. Like they've had a couple
yeah.
different singers in their history.
Yeah, so they gave me the call up, I guess, like around last May, last June, like around that time. Like I was just finishing up the first year of school, and I guess a buddy of mine, he referred me to them. They just hit me up, and
Mhm.
then we just started grinding out rehearsals every week. And then because they had a tour that they had lined up and they didn't want to cancel it due to some, issues like with like lineup change and whatnot.
Mhm.
And so they just hit me up and then I kind of like filled in for like their summer tour. And then it turned into me like just writing with them a little bit and then getting some songs together. And then we had a few shows throughout like the year after like summer. Like we had a show in Moncton, like in I want to say November or December. And I think it was November. And then we had a show, the show you went to
Yeah.
at the bus stop theater. And it was pretty fun. It was like I felt like it was a good experience because Adam and Kyle they were already so tight playing together for years, and it was a good experience just kind of hopping on and just being able to ride with them a little bit.
And so you mentioned just finishing up your first year of school. So going back even a little bit further than that, obviously you got a little bit of music in your blood because you were taking music program as well.
Uh-huh.
So where does the origins of your music come from? Is it something that's been with you since childhood, or is it something you picked up as a teenager?
So I guess like growing up, I always like whenever I'd hear a song I liked, I always envisioned myself like kind of singing that song on stage.
Yeah.
But it never really went past that. And you
I did
know,
that today making dinner with some Paradise City.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
Axel for a
exactly.
whole 6 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. And my family, they would always like kind of give me the nudge, like just like getting me a guitar or whatever, just saying, hey, you should learn something extracurricular. But I never really like stuck with anything because around when I was like kind of like a preteen teenager, I was like a heavy basketball player and
Okay.
I was all about that. And then by the time I was like 15, I just kind of something just clicked in me and then my nanny's ex-boyfriend, he gave me a Telecaster to just start playing, and then it kind of just went from there. And then I
Oh,
just
that's good to get to shout out there anyway.
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. No, yeah, just like my family just kind of nurtured it along the way as much as they could, and I just been going from there ever since, I guess.
And where's this family originally from? Are you all Nova Scotia based originally?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was making the assumption and realized I can't make that assumption just based on the fact that he went to school here for a little bit because he could be from anywhere.
Oh yeah, Spryfield shout out.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
perfect.
I love Spryfield, man. Like I'm a paramedic. Well, yeah,
Oh yeah,
I'm
nice.
a paramedic. And I've been in Spryfield a lot. And you got a bad rap, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the people there, everyone wants to help. Everyone
Oh, yeah,
trusts. It's a community. It's a tight
Mhm.
community, and we really don't have this anymore. So I find
Yeah.
Spryfield's like one of those last really tight communities.
For sure.
I wouldn't
everyone
fuck with anyone, but and that's part of the tight community thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's why when Chase said he wanted to come on, I'm like, absolutely, bud. I'm not messing around with that.
I'm not gonna say no. You have all Spryfield after me.
So those musical influences, like especially the singing, obviously you were multifaceted, and we'll get into that in a minute too, because you already mentioned guitar, but I know that you're quite well rounded as a musician. But your vocals now in the circles of the music scene where you're performing, I don't know if anyone else is sharing what I have to say, but your range, when you get up to your higher range, you start to get sounding an awful lot like the notes that people cannot hit by Axl Rose, which is amazing. Like, is Guns N' Roses mixed in there at all? And we have to ask because Andrew's a huge GNR fan.
Axl Rose cannot hit those notes that Axl Rose can hit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So funny enough, like, I guess, like growing up, I would always hear Guns N' Roses, and I just it's music to vibe with.
Yeah.
But I never really saw them as an influence. Like, I guess when you're talking about like the higher range, like yeah, like I guess it comes down to like guys like Chris Cornell or like Robert Plant or even James Brown. Like he's been a huge influence for me. Just on
but
that
you named two of my favorite singers right off there, so maybe that's what I'm picking up on too. So.
Yeah.
So you also have an influence in there that's, and maybe more so with the single that's out now that we'll hear at the end of the episode. But there's like an 80s kind of vibe going on with your music. That's it's not really a new wave type sound. It's almost like a post new wave sound. Like I can almost hear a little bit of like maybe Billy Idol in there a little bit. Like, it's a weird combination of, even though if you were older, I'd be like, oh, it's what he grew up with. It's a weird combination of a couple eras to be mixing together. I can't.
Huge fan of The Wedding Singer. That's where he got it from.
Yeah.
Don't touch Billy.
No, yeah, Billy Idol. He's kind of the main guy that hit him and The Weeknd. Those were the two guys that kind of made it click for me that this is what I wanted to do. And this is like just hearing those sounds, like those synths, and just their songwriting, that moody feel they kind of give, that just like mesmerized me from the moment I heard it. And I just wanted to kind of channel that through my songwriting, I guess.
And so for the single, is that you performing all the instruments as well, or did you collaborate with other people to finish that?
Yeah, so like I play guitar, and all the synth I like kind of wrote and performed as well. But like Corey Lerue, I worked on him with the track, and he kind of did like all the programming, and like he would like sometimes I just tell him the chords and he'd lay them down, and like he got all the drum sounds and everything. So
Corey's making the rounds lately. It was last year. Everybody that I talked to was like, I got a new single that was produced by Classified. And now everyone's like, I'm working with Corey Lerue. So, I mean, it's a short list. Yeah. But I know there's good stuff coming. And Corey, I guess for anyone that doesn't know from the podcast, he was working with Neon Dreams back before when they were more than two people. So that predates our podcast, but yeah, I'm hearing Corey's name all the time. So I mean,
he's amazing.
The name association's great. Yeah,
no, Corey's amazing. He's so fast and so like just on it, and he's a personable guy. He's really funny too, and yeah, it was really fun working on that song with him.
Maybe you can get him to check out Andrew's solo synth project that he has
for sure.
On Bandcamp there sometime too. Put him on the list.
I was driving to work the other day and I had like a random on YouTube music playing, and my own song came on. I'm like, this sounds real familiar. And then like 20 seconds, I was like, this is mine. It was kind of weird to hear my own stuff playing through there, but yeah.
And so when you're playing with other bands, are you usually just singing? Because I know you're also performing with Acid Wash now as well.
Yeah. So I kind of kickstarted things with Acid Wash like last February. In our first school year, like me and some of the boys in the program, like the Liams, and we had a former guitar player last year, but Josh was in our class too, and he hopped on the train. Um, but like we've been through the grind together through school. Like we all know each other's schedule, so it kind of worked perfectly for that. And I sing and I play guitar for that as well. And we all kind of just write our own songs and we bring them in. And we kind of just work them all in together. And I think
And
it's,
now
yeah.
that's a heavier sound than what you're doing in your solo stuff.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like we kind of just want to make a no limits kind of thing. Like we just like to do whatever we want to do. And we're really heavy on like the improv side of it as well. And we're just trying to do everything and see what works and see what sticks or what doesn't.
The
Not the worst being
Halifax
backed
music
in a corner.
programs.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
It's not the worst being backed in a corner to a genre and you can't really go outside of it. So
Yeah, well,
being able to
exactly.
just do whatever you want and not worry about it is a good thing to do.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially because every member, I think, of Acid Wash, we all make our own stuff on the side, like solo projects, whatever. We all have our defined voice. Like Liam Muse, like he has a lot of cool black metal crap out right now. It's not crap, I mean like in the best way.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of
he's just
shitty
like-
black metal stuff.
But like that's just him. Like he loves making that stuff. But then when he comes to the band to write, he's composed like Vampire Radio, which is I think is an amazing like goth song. And then he also had his own song that he made, which is kind of like a ghost tune. So he's really awesome at writing some catchy metal. And then there's Josh, and he's just like the best guitar player I've ever seen.
Alright.
Like that's like seen in his songs that he's writing, and he's actually has a song coming out May 5th. Little plug from there. And
That's this week.
but he's just like he has all the tech riffs, but he has catchy like pop songwriting combined with it. So it's really a great thing to hear him get his voice out there. And then Liam McNeil, he's just like psych rock, experimental, anything goes, and it's really awesome. And then whenever we just come together, we just let all of that come and just meld.
Perfect.
Do you think there's anything different coming out of that music program? Because especially the community college music programs, it's constantly cranking out indie bands in the city.
Yeah.
And everyone has their own sound, but I've been talking to a couple of the up and coming bands recently on some of the episodes about like the mixture, like elements of jazz seem to be in a lot of the bands that I was interviewing, and they all seem to have a member or multiple members that was studying jazz at some point through one of the music programs. But now with yourself, you've got a few different sounds going on there, and the guys that you mentioned as well. It seems like some of the people that are coming out of the program now, there seems to be a little bit of a heavier edge to it. Like, did the jazz teacher move away and you got a metalhead there?
Oh no. Jeff is still hammering it into us, and so is Tom. They're amazing. I think because of how strong the jazz system was or is just in how they teach, it's just so effective and straightforward in how to learn how to just compose or play in general. And I think jazz can be translated into any genre you want, honestly. And I think that from a technical standpoint, it's done wonders for all the metalheads that are in the program right now, like for their soloing or their writing in general.
And it's the collaboration part carries over into all the different disciplines.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, like we all have a chance to play jazz through the school, and I feel like that just kind of gives us more confidence when we come back to what we're familiar with.
Every time I hit a wrong note, I just say it's jazz, and I get away with
exactly.
it. Exactly. Middle of the song, jazz. Yeah.
So, what do you think then going forward? you have both band and solo options. The
Mhm.
band seems like it's going to be like a thing that's going for a while, but if you're all doing different things, it's going to have breaks.
Oh yeah, for
So
sure.
what's the focus going into the summer of 2023?
I think the focus for me is just like getting myself out there in terms of like promoting my music or like just recording my own songs as opposed to focusing on the live aspect for the solo stuff right now. But for Acid Wash, it's just grind as much as we can whenever we can. Like whenever all of us are free, we can jam or practice or write. And then, whatever we can do to get recording done, we're gonna do that as well.
Before you guys disappear behind a bunch of recording equipment, is there any other live shows that are coming up soon? I know that you've had a few. Like I said, I caught you at one there a few months ago, and I know that the Acid Wash show just recently.
Mhm.
I know I was in the city, and I think you knew I was in the city. I was just at a
Yeah.
different venue.
Mhm.
So, is there anything that we can catch before you guys are locked
Yeah.
down writing and recording?
Yeah, so I know we have a confirmed show for May 28th at Gus's Pub.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that's kind of like that's right after work term's over. So
Mhm.
once we're all done with gigging every day through school, we're gonna close it off with a crazy show at the end of the month.
Little
And
party for you guys as well then.
oh yeah, 100%. And then we might have some shows lined up for July. I think High October hit us up.
Oh,
And
cool.
we're gonna get something going there at the Goggle probably.
Yeah, we featured one of their singles probably about a year ago now
Oh,
on
nice.
one of our episodes. Yeah, that's awesome. I haven't actually heard that name in a while. See, some of the venues you're playing are not venues that I go to typically.
Mhm.
I see them online and everything, but the recent flood of episodes on our YouTube channel, I haven't been spending as much time looking at other people's content.
Yeah,
I need to work on that if we're going to be reporting news as well.
yeah.
So your
I have yet to
solo
get to Gus's
performance?
Pub. I've never been there.
Oh,
Yet.
yeah.
I
You
almost
haven't
played
been to
it,
Gus's Pub yet.
but I've never been in it.
Oh, it's legendary.
Yeah.
I've been there, but not often, like twice, maybe ever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah, me and Andrew are going to have to make a trip there together someday.
Oh yeah,
A quiet day.
Yeah.
it's the best place to catch a rock show for sure.
Yeah. I heard.
Yes.
It's always a good time, I heard.
So, Andrew, was there anything extra that you had there on your notes or anything?
I was going to ask, when you said you're given a guitar when you were like 16, what's the first song you learned?
What's the first song? I think the first song I learned incomplete, like from start to finish, minus the solo, obviously, because there was no way I was gonna be able to play solo. "Beat It" by Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of those riffs in like I just looked online for easy songs to play on guitar.
Yeah.
And that was one of them, like the riff, the bound.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I learned that. And
Look for
then
something
I've
easy to
yet
start with some Van Halen.
yeah.
That was Van
Yeah,
Halen, wasn't it, that did that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still have yet to learn the solo, but the riff is just one of the hardest riffs ever.
Yeah.
Just in terms of how cool it sounds.
Yeah.
So, for solo performances, would you have to bring a band with you, or is that anything that you're even looking at?
Yeah, I definitely want to have it as live as possible. And I mean, like I already have like a little bit of a band together right now, and we rehearsed a little bit throughout the year. With work term right now, it's been pretty impossible to get anything going, but I do have a band, and I want to try and make it as like I know Harry Styles is a good example, I guess, where a lot of his songs have electronic sounds in them, but when he
Mhm.
plays live, he has like a whole band playing all the instruments. And I guess I kind of want to take it that way, where
Mhm.
I want to have as many people to be able to play with me as there can be, just so it's more of an authentic experience.
Well, if
Absolutely.
you take something like Nine Inch Nails, it was all Trent Reznor doing mostly digital production,
Mhm.
mostly synth. And then when they did that Woodstock show,
Yeah.
and live, it just, if you haven't watched that set, go watch Woodstock with Nine Inch Nails in '94. was fucking great.
All right.
You know, you got the right one if everyone's covered in mud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were in the mosh pit before they got on stage, but they took full synth digital music and went live with it, and that's what made them, I think, was that show. So
yeah, it translates really nice.
Yeah. So that's, you have your single Alien Woman out now.
Oh yeah.
And you're working on more to come out in the future as a full package. Anything you want to say about that song, or?
Yes, about Alien Woman.
Yeah.
So I guess I worked on it with Corey. I wrote it probably in grade 12. You know, it was just as we were coming out of like the pandemic, kind of like lockdown and quarantine, and I just needed. I already wrote my first song like in grade 11, and I just wanted to push myself to write something again, and then the bass line just came to me one night, and then it just went from there. It kind of just, I had the whole vision, but then it took a few months to kind of write it, like the lyrics and everything. But then once it came together, it felt pretty good, and I'm pretty confident in what it will do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, awesome. And where can we find you online? What's your preferred platform?
So I guess where I'm most present is Instagram, but I also use Facebook. I just started using TikTok. I never really used that before, but I just started dwelling there.
Yeah.
So I guess if you want to check out anything, Instagram is usually the place to be.
I'm not allowed on TikTok at work anymore. They blocked us from the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
Because
China.
I noticed we use it randomly for the podcast, and I did notice that the last couple times the numbers are way down for people that are actually viewing stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, a lot of people aren't allowed using it around here, so like it's not being pushed to anything.
Yeah, at work they sent an email, said that they track all your data and who knows how they're using it. I'm like, so does every other app on your phone.
Exactly.
And Google and Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon hosts all the government servers that houses the information that they collect on us in the first place. So
yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
that's for our conspiracy podcast.
Exactly. On the next episode.
But for now, this is sorry.
Acid Wash separately than Chase Clarke for Instagram accounts, or should it be one? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's an Acid Wash, acid.wash.official should be our name on Instagram. And we put all of our show info there for when we're playing.
Perfect.
And just any other news, like sometimes we post clips of songs we're working on.
Yeah.
And just updates, yeah.
Awesome. And we'll link those both in the show notes down below. And or up above if you have your thing set up weird, but they're posted down there anyway. And,
awesome.
So this is Chase Clarke, and we're going to listen to Alien Woman. Thanks for coming on.